another egg, and it is dark. So the embryo is filling out the shell right now. So I'm checking on the eggs now. It is day, let me check, day 9. 50% humidity, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 37.8 degrees Celsius, so perfect temp and humidity. I'm going to candle each egg to make sure none are cracked, and we'll see how the fertility is. So all I'm looking for right now to see is if they're clear or if they're dark, because it's hard to see. So this one is completely clear. This is not fertile at all. Okay, so today is lockdown, which means that this rotator in here has to be taken out. I have to place the eggs just without them, just to let the embryo settle and hatch. I'm also going to place paper towels down, just because I noticed that this yellow part does get really slippery, and they end up with these splayed legs, this kind of split, and it's almost impossible to correct on button quails. So I'm going to do that now and kind of prepare them for lockdown. Very carefully take these out, put them on the floor really quick. You don't want these to cool down too much, but this has to be done. So this is the piece that comes off. So it's not perfect, but I just line it with paper towels like this, and the eggs kind of keep it, pushed down. And this gives the chicks a little traction to walk on for when they do hatch. So I just want to show you guys, compared to a chicken egg, how small button quail eggs are. So this was a hatched chicken egg, and then this was one of the hatched button quail eggs. I mean, it's probably 20 times the size. It's actually falling apart, but I mean, they're so small, so fragile. Let me see if I can focus. This is how teeny. It's literally the size of my nail. Just got Finn out right now. He's actually getting really big. The white on his face is starting to completely fill in. His little hairdo, it's coming in. Come here. But everyone kept asking me why I was getting button quail shipped to me when I have my own. And the reason is just because, after years and years of breeding, there's, something called inbreeding depression. And so, your eggs can become quite less fertile. Your flock can get a lot sicker just from the recessive traits showing up in the flock. And so I'll always add new blood every 2 years. So luckily my friend shipped me her eggs, which are totally unrelated to my bloodline. And even though 8 out of like 24 hatched, that's kind of like the gamble you take with shipped eggs. So I was definitely happy just to have any amount ship. She's gonna ship more actually this coming week, and I'll trade my eggs for hers as well, just so she doesn't deal with it. And it kind of makes the flock healthier by mixing the bloodlines, and so that's kind of why I do what I do. So I'll actually keep the buttons in the incubator for 3 days, 3 or 4 days, past their hatch date. And that's just because they're so fragile that first week that I don't like to, take them out for long periods of time. And it being 25 degrees out right now, even the trip down to the coop may shock them enough to kill them. So I'll keep them in the warm incubator. By the, 3rd day, I'll, decrease the temperature by like maybe 0.5 or 1 degree just to start to acclimate them. I'll keep them in my room for maybe a week after that, and then I think once their primary feathers start to like grow in, that molt comes, they're ready to go down the coop. And everyone always asks me how hard are button quail to hatch, and I think button quails are actually so easy to hatch just because they're the same as chicken eggs, they're the same as Turnix eggs. You just stick them in, watch the humidity, watch the temperature, and let them be. It's just after that initial 1 to 2 week period is when the majority of people lose their button quails. They end up dying for what people think no reason, but it's just because of how fragile they are, and their body's inability to really regulate temperature just because they're that small. And so it's that 1 to 2 week period that you really have to watch out for, and then they're much more resilient once they get their feathers on. And so for an update on the wildlife rehabilitation license that I'm applying for, if you didn't know about that, just go back to my last video. I think it's on the rescue button quail one. I take it next month, the test, and right now I just have all my study books. It's right here, this binder full. And so yeah, I'll be studying for the next month, but I already got calls from a friend of mine who's a vet, and she's like, we have baby squirrels right now, we have raccoons you can train with, and all stuff like that. I'll have to get my rabies vaccine, which is pretty pricey, but definitely to work with those type of species, I think it's going to be worth it. And so over the next week or two, I'll keep you guys updated, and especially when my test comes and if I pass or not. Clumped. God, it's gonna go in my mouth. No. You have to be careful with these little guys, just because if they do fall off the bed, they can get really hurt. And so I always like to play with them away from the edge so that we don't have any accidents. But I wanted to thank you guys for always watching. And if you could hit the like and subscribe button just to help my video get out there, that would mean a ton to me. I'll be posting next week just about an update of all the colors of buttons I have, about the rescue buttons, and just how everything is on the farm.